Hello friends, today a very eventful day for all of us. Before we start the vigorous panel discussion, let we all relax. सोचने से कहाँ मिलते हैं तमन्नाओं के शहर, सोचने से कहाँ मिलते हैं तमन्नाओं के शहर, आइए ढूंढते हैं आशियाना और शुरू करते हैं एक नई लहर. So now coming to the very first question to Chairperson Sir, Maharashtra is always a pioneer state. We have 71,000 projects registered all across India. Out of that, nearly 35,500 projects are claimed by the Maharashtra, 51% stake. So how the state government machinery is now geared up, because we have the data on the MahaReRa portal, that is some 4,500 projects are lapsed projects. Now, there is no definition of lapsed project, but what we mean by that is the revised timeline is over. Whatever was allowed to the promoter is over and he is not able to take the extension for some reason. And apart from lapsed project, there are certain hidden lapsed projects wherein while registering the project in 2017, there was no check, rather I would say the timeline was given unilaterally. Say in 2017, timeline was granted 2028, 30 and so on. But if we look at the progress of the work, it is still at the same stage. So a lot of data mining has to be done, because we get information as a MahaReRa authority, you get information at a micro level through complaints. But at macro level, what are the steps that MahaReRa would like to take to collect the data, to either say forming a committee or study group, to have a study, because we have the lot of project data. So how we can take a thing forward?
Mr. Shah, I'll just first let me put the data in perspective. In fact, I was just looking at some data. If you see the total number of projects that we have registered, as you rightly said, we have about 36,000 projects that are now registered with us. And that has about 35 lakh approximately apartments. That's a huge amount. That's registered. Of course, I'm talking all over Maharashtra. I'm not talking of Mumbai. So 36,000 projects with about 35 lakh apartments that are registered with us. And if you look at the value of this, it's about 8.69 lakh crores, which is huge. It's one of the sectors which attracts huge investment. And this is all, if you look at it, most of it is public investment. Either it's money from the banks, NBFCs, or what people who booked have put in money. So it's huge amount of public money. So really at times I keep wondering to myself whether real estate is really a private sector or is it a public sector. The kind of money that is there, at times you feel it's a public sector, but there's a lot of public money, and that's why I suppose the legislators brought this act to sort of protect public money somewhere. Now, if you see the number of lapsed projects, about 4,500 projects are lapsed out of 36,000. So that comes to about 10%. I wanted to use the word hardly 10%, but this is what causes the hardest feelings. So it's about 4,500 projects are lapsed, which is about approximately 10% of the total projects are today lapsed. Just putting the data in perspective so that you know in my next round of questions, because if I answer everything now, you won't come back to me. Correct. So in my next round of questions, I'll try and tell you what we are planning and what we are thinking. Out of these 4,500 projects, we found that projects which have no booking are about 1,500. So that leaves me with about 3,000 projects that we need to look at.
Okay.
So where there is no booking, really, as I say, it's a public sector, public money is not there. We can take that up. Of course, there is a lot of bank money and personal money involved. We will take that up later. But as of now, today, it really doesn't worry me. I'm more worried about where people have put in their money. And that, if you see, total apartments are about 2.3 lakhs, out of which 1.28 lakhs are booked. What is not booked, again, as RERA, I'm really not worried. I'm more worried about where the apartments have been booked and people's money has got involved there. Now, if you see the money, now these are figures on that day. Of course, escalation would have taken over, price escalations are there. It's about 78,000 crores is the total cost of the project when it lapsed. And today, at least 50,000 crore has been invested. So it's about 28,000 crores, but we need to sort of escalate the money with the WPI, CPI and come to what the value would be today. Overall, if you see, I'll just leave the thought with you that while the problem is complex, it has a solution which is difficult, But the problem is not very big. Yes, individual projects, there is a lot of pain in individual projects. Where is the problem as RERA chairman? If you ask me what is my problem is that this cancer should not spread. Jo ho gaya so ho gaya. What is the future?
Correct.
Jo ho gaya so ho gaya, we need to look at the past. But future mein ye nahi hoga, what are we going to do is something that now concerns me, disturbs me. And if people ask me what is it that disturbs you at night, is this that why, how do I prevent this from spreading? This
From happening.
malignancy should not spread. That is the main issue that I have. I'll come back to that later. But what has happened, we are now really seriously getting onto it. And in fact, I specifically asked Mr. Sanjay Deshmukh, he was additional MC in the BMC. Most of you would know him, those who have worked with BMC. So we've just appointed him today specifically for the work of labs projects. So that he get into projects one by one, because every project will have a different solution. It's like a patient. You can't have one medicine which goes for everybody.
Correct.
It's for one by one, you have to take the project and see what's wrong with it and what needs to be done. So we specifically appointed him, and we'll be asking him to build a team also. So that we get into it one by one. I'll stop here and wait for your next question after you finish with others. Thank you so much.